Minecraft is the world's most popular game, being played by over 140 million players across 20 different platforms. Despite its global popularity, it's not safe from government censorship. As we know, world governments tend to ban the things they don't like, and this includes people who speak out against them. Journalists across the world face censorship from their oppressive governments. So now the question is, what happens when you take a globally acclaimed game like Minecraft and the suppressed voices of journalists and combine them? Well, you get the Uncensored Library. This is a project by Reporters Without Borders, a non-profit organization with the stated goal of safeguarding the right to free press. The map is made up of 12.5 million blocks, constructed by 24 builders from 16 different countries. The library has rooms dedicated to 5 countries who have censored certain articles, which are now available to read here. I want to tour the entire library, but there's no way I'm going to be able to cover everything in it. I mean, there's over 200 books to read, so if you're interested, they have a public server and a world download I'll be including in the description. Enough talking about it, let's go see what's hiding in this uncensored library. Alright, so I'm actually going to be logging onto the Uncensored Library for the first time. It looks like there's one other person online, but let's do this thing. And here it is. It's kind of underwhelming right now. I'm at the dock, but I'm sure you'll be impressed. Yeah, so like I said, there's only one other person online besides myself. Let's see if they'll respond. Oh, okay, it's making me official, capitalizing my letter and putting a period at the end. Alright, so we're continuing up this pathway, and wow. Look at that. Alright, starting to get a little impressive. This isn't even the library, though. You haven't seen anything yet. Alright, I think we're coming up on the library now. Yes, there it is. Or at least part of it. Look at that. Wow. It's a very beautiful building. I'm like right up on it. It hasn't even all loaded in yet. That's how massive this thing is. Alright, this better be something awesome the way this entrance is laid. Let's see it. Let's see what this podium says. So yeah, this just runs you through the creation of the server, kind of explains their whole mission goal. Pretty cool, but this is what I'm really interested in. This is a world map. Look at this. Of all the country borders. This is the Dome, which sits in the middle of the Uncensored Library. The entire room is dedicated to the Press Freedom Index, which is an annual ranking conducted by Reporters Without Borders that measures how free a nation's press is. The scale is in 4 different colors. The nation's color in white are the ones with the freest press, while the ones in the black are the more oppressive nations. Just look how big this building is. I have my render distance set to max and it hasn't even loaded in yet. Oh god, I'm getting Flags of the World flashbacks. Oh look, this guy's here with me. Hello. Let's see if he responds now. So let's take a look at this. Let's see what country's rated the lowest for press freedom. So, pretty easy to guess. It looks like North Korea is at the bottom at 180, but then Turkmenistan, that makes sense. You can't even get into their country without like special permission. Alright, so these are the top 10, Portugal, all the way up to Norway. Well, where's the United States at? That's my home country. 45, we're in the top 50. Pretty good, but we can always do better. I'd love to get an interview with someone who's experiencing this. Oh, he complimented my Spanish. That's the first time I've ever heard that. He's from Colombia. Awesome. Okay, no, we're not using that smile. Alright, it looks like he's not open to being interviewed, which that's alright. I mean, if some guy joined this server and started asking me to be interviewed, I'd be kind of sussed out too. Above the world map, you can see just about every nation's flag. There's 180 of them here, all with information about how free their nation's press is. I love how they've managed to recreate each flag in Minecraft. Not something that's easily done, but they've managed to pull it off. What is this flag? I don't know this one. Uzbekistan. Let's read what Uzbekistan is going on. 156 out of 180. They're not doing too hot. Let's see what they got going on. World's harshest dictatorship. Alright, one more flag we're going to check out just because I love it. It's really high on my tier list. Your channel caught my attention. I'm going to follow you. Hey, we didn't get the interview, but we got a new fan. Sri Lanka is at 127 out of 180. How can a nation with such a beautiful flag be so low? Okay, well, the first sentence is known as the Terminator from his decade as defense secretary. That's not a very good sentence to start off with. Alright, but we can't spend the entire time looking at the flags. We need to move on to something else. Look at this hall. I'm excited to see what's down it. Let's go. So walking down this hall, it looks like they have flags for different countries set up here. That's Russia and that's Vietnam. I don't know, maybe this is stuff that the Vietnamese and Russian government have censored. We can go down here and check it out, though. Going forward, you'll notice each room has their own theme, and the one for Vietnam is titled The Labyrinth of Truth. The Labyrinth is to represent the Communist Party of Vietnam's ever-increasing efforts to make independent media harder to access. In December 2017, Vietnam revealed the existence of a cyber task force of 10,000 personnel, all tasked with filtering information that goes against the Communist Party. Vietnam ranks at 176 out of 180 for press freedom, the fourth lowest country in the world. Alright, so they have the articles in both English and in the country's native language, it looks like. I don't speak Vietnamese, so we're going to check out the English ones. So this is actually an article that has been censored in Vietnam. It looks like it's talking about some revolution that the country might have went through. And over here, yes, this is the, I assume the same articles in the native language of Vietnamese. Pretty cool. Let's check out the Russian place. Russia's been in the news recently. I'm sure they got some stuff hiding in here. Let's check it out. In the Russian room, you can immediately see a massive octopus sticking out of a pool of water. This is the Data Kraken, which is to symbolize the Russian government continually reaching out to shut down any independent news sources in the nation. I don't know about you, but that's a little shaky symbolism to me. I think someone just wanted to build an octopus. If you're going to translate the binary message, don't bother. I already did. It's just the word data repeated over and over and over again. It took me 3/4 of the message to realize this. Moving on. And then again, there's books here in the center. Russian internet under pressure. Awesome. Well, not awesome, but awesome that we're able to read about it. Once again, same text in English and in the native language. Before I went further into the library, I stopped outside to see this dome, which is a room dedicated to Belarus, a nation infamous for censoring all television in the nation. President Lukashenko has tried to censor all media critical of him, which gave rise to Charter 97. This is a website that reports on the political situation going on in Belarus. The establishment has been subjected to DDoS attacks and writers for them have even been detained, including the editor-in-chief Natalia Rodzina. She fled to Russia and was granted asylum in Poland, where she lives and continues to write for Charter 97 today. So this is actually their newest room. A room dedicated to the press that's been censored during the COVID-19 pandemic. Articles from nations such as Brazil, Hungary, and Myanmar detail how their leaders attack the press for reporting on the coronavirus, but who stands out the most here is North Korea. If you recall, North Korea reported no cases of the coronavirus, despite sharing a border with China. You know, where the virus originated? But I think the funniest case here is Turkmenistan, who's just straight up banned the use of the word coronavirus. I'm sorry to say, Turkmenistan, but if you're in the room with the gorilla, and you tell no one to talk about the gorilla doesn't go away. This is kind of eerie. I'm the only person online on this grandiose map. I've got the entire thing to myself. The next room is Saudi Arabia, who has one of the lowest press freedom indexes, landed at 172 out of 180. Part of their low score comes from the amount of journalists that are jailed in the nation, represented in the middle of the room with the cage. However, the censorship of journalists doesn't stop with jailing. This is Jamal Khashoggi, a journalist who is openly critical of the Saudi government, and more specifically, the royal family. On October 2nd, 2018, Jamal was assassinated at the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul. The Saudi government denied involvement at first, but later came forward and admitted to his murder. In the middle of the cage sit 6 articles from Jamal Khashoggi. Oh, this looks beautiful. Let's check it out. Please fly to the right end of this room and find a book about Reporters Without Borders. The floating blocks will reveal their message when you stand behind the book. Alright, so they said right side of the room, we gotta stand behind a book and we'll see what it says. Truth. That's pretty cool, how they've got the blocks floating out here and you can only reveal the message. That's pretty cool. Alright, down this hallway, it looks like we have more flags. I'm not sure what those ones are. That might be Egypt, maybe? I was right. The next room I visited was Egypt, where you can immediately see a set of scales defines the room. They are to represent Egypt's harsh punishments given out to people who commit minor infractions. Egypt sits at 163 out of 180 on the Press Freedom Index, and their treatment of independent news sources gets them there. In 2013, Madame Assar, an online news portal, opened a report on corruption and security issues going on inside the Egyptian government. In 2017, Madame Assar was made unavailable in Egypt, and at the base of the scale sits 6 articles from the website. Okay, I do not recognize this flag. Let's check it out and see what's going on. Oh, it's Mexico! Duh! Alright, let's see what we got here. 144 out of 180. Very few things have left me speechless, and even fewer, if any, have came from Minecraft, but that's exactly what the Mexican Room did. Reporters Without Borders dedicates their Mexico Room to 12 journalists who were killed on the journey for free press. One such journalist honored is Javier Valdez, who founded Rio Doce, a weekly publication that covered crime and corruption in Sinaloa, one of the Mexican states. Javier was killed in 2017. In the middle, you can read a story from him detailing how brutal the drug trade of Mexico can be. When I began to work on this video, I didn't think much of it. I went in thinking, oh, it's just an absurd idea. A Minecraft server with banned articles, I'll check it out. It's so easy to read the sentence, journalists are being censored, and you'll think nothing of it. But when you're actually face to face with someone who is murdered for speaking out against their government, it puts it in a new perspective. But speaking of a new perspective, I cannot do this place justice just by talking about and making fancy replay mod footage. This is something you need to see to fully grasp. As I mentioned before, their server link and world download will be linked in my description. Check the place out, I promise it'll be worth it. But that's all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching.